Hey guys, let's talk about pricing. I'm going to give you some ideas of how I price my content, what I do, why I charge what I charge, but everything I say should come with a grain of salt. I've been doing this 6 years. I charge what I charge because of the quality, because of the, content itself, because of the length of the content, and because I believe in my worth. Not just my time, but my worth as a creator. However, I also haven't priced myself out of the market. I price my content the way that I do because I know that it will sell at that price. But if I price it, if I were to charge $3 a minute on my content, that would mean a 5-minute video is $15. And most of my 5-minute videos are not worth $15, I will admit. So I'm not going to charge $15. I'm going to charge maybe $7 or $8 for a 5-minute video, depending on what the content is. You have to think seriously about what you believe you should charge versus what other people are charging. And I don't mean match other people's prices. I just mean consider the market, consider what you're charging, and charge appropriately. I recommend taking a minute and looking at other creators who are similar to you. So I would look at other BBWs, I maybe look at other white women, women who do, specific kinks, and I would look at how they price their videos. Not just their videos though. Look at the price of their photo sets, the price of their subscription pages, depending on how much content they have, of course, the price of different items that they're selling. So if I were to sell my panties at $60 a pair, partly because ManyVids takes a little off the top and then there's shipping, and I don't charge for shipping, I just kind of include it in the price. And someone else only charges 30, but they're not a plus size woman and they aren't wearing the underwear first, then mine still comes with something extra. I'm a plus size woman and I'm wearing the underwear before I send it. You have to kind of consider what goes into everything when you're looking at these other prices. But I'm going to break down my pricing model for you and kind of give you an example of where I am and why I price things the way that I do. Let's start with subscription pages. I have 3. I have 2 loyal fans and a fansly. Technically, I have an OF, but that is only so that other creators can tag me without having to upload a special model release for me, and I don't charge and I don't put anything, super spicy on it. So I'm not really going to talk about my OF. I hate that site. You'll hear me say that a lot. The first loyal fans I want to talk about is my Findom or Femdom loyal fans. It is very specific to that type of content and it's very new, so it doesn't have a lot of content on it. This means I don't charge that much. Besides the fact that if a fin sub wanted to approach me there, I would still require them to send my initial tribute price. So I'm not too worried about charging all that much on that site. I charge $5 for the monthly subscription. I think I charge $10 for a video call, and I think it's $2.50 a message for followers and $1 for subscribers. So subscribers get a slight discount, actually a pretty good discount, for messaging me, which is more incentive for them to subscribe. I price it the way I do because most subscription pages are somewhere, from what I found, somewhere within the $5 to $10 range, depending on how much content there is, depending on the quality of the content and things like that. So I haven't priced myself out of the market. My fansly and my other loyal fans are $8 because those both have a variety of content. The other loyal fans doesn't really have a lot of dom content. There may be little bits here and there, but it's not a lot. It has more of my generalized porn. So anyone who wants to see me with other creators or who wants to see my solo stuff, they can go there. They can also see that on Fansly. Fansly, in addition, has some of my dom content. So that's actually the best of both worlds right now. Fansly will be going away at some point in the near future. I haven't figured out when. I kind of want to delete that because I don't feel like I need Fansly all that much. But Fansly and my second loyal fans are $8. Again, I've not priced myself out of the market. It is good quality content. There's a lot of it. There are very long videos that subscribers have access to, so it's not like they'd have to pay more for that. So, you have to take into account what you're offering. Now, I don't post daily on any of those platforms because I just don't. But if I did, I might charge just a touch more, or I might put the videos behind an extra paywall. It just kind of depends on what I feel like doing. Fansly, you can put things behind an extra paywall even for subscribers, but loyal fans you cannot. It's just different things for different sites, of course. But my point is, depending on what you offer, you can charge more or less. And when you're still new, charge $3. I mean, I'm not telling you what to do, but like only charge a couple of dollars while you're still kind of building up your content. And then as you get more, then start charging a little bit more. This is obviously your choice though. I can't tell you what to charge. I can't tell you what to price your things at. I can just tell you what I have seen over the years and what I would recommend. I want to backtrack a little to the message pricing that I talked about on Loyal Fans, because I also use something called Sex Panther and I use Night Flirt. On Sex Panther, it's going to be the same across the board. So all text messages are going to be $1. All video, sends are going to be $1.50 or whatever it is, whatever I price it at. Breaking down my pricing for that, I would have to have all the numbers in front of me, and I don't. But just keep in mind that the lower you price it, the more messages you're probably going to get until you show that you're very popular. So again, that's one of those don't price yourself out of the market kind of things. And there are some months that you're just not going to get any messages no matter how many times you post on your feed. It's okay. That's going to happen. Night Flirt, you actually can have different like listings. So I have like a girl next door listing, I have a dom listing, and I have a fin dom listing. And they're all different prices because I charge different things for different services. And that's one thing I like about Night Flirt. They both have their pros and cons. I like Sex Panther because they have an app. Night Flirt doesn't. That's literally the only reason I prefer Sex Panther over Night Flirt. But I like that Night Flirt gives you different options for listings with phone calls and video calls and things like that. So do what you will with those pricings. Try to look at what other creators are charging. And again, don't price yourself out of the market, at least in the beginning. Prove yourself to customers and then you can charge more. Whatever you do, consider the fact that videos should always be more than photos, that audios should be probably somewhere in the middle, and text messages should probably be the least expensive. I want to talk about phone calls and video calls real quick. I charge what I charge because I really don't love doing live private sessions. I don't love doing live sessions, period, even like camming. But I charge, I think it's $3 a minute for phone calls. Like that's the base. I know I said video calls on Loyal Fans are $10, but my normal is $5. And then for FinDom, it's $10. And the reason I do that is because, again, I don't love doing live sessions with people. I just don't enjoy it because I always feel like I'm not going to be on my game. Whereas with texting, it's very easy for me to like come up with ideas and then type them out and fix it real quick before I send. I'm not very good at I'm not very good at improving, which is what a conversation is. And honestly, if you saw the bloopers of these videos, you would completely agree that I am terrible at improvising. Consider your comfort when you're looking at your pricing, but also consider the fact that you don't have to do all of these things. If you don't feel comfortable doing video calls, phone calls, texting, don't do those things. Just offer videos, just offer content, just offer straight FinDom. Again, I've already mentioned that, if that's your thing, you're going to have to work harder, but like you have options. Now, when it comes to selling physical items, you do have to consider other things, the cost of the item, whether you bought it 10 years ago or you bought it 10 days ago or 10 minutes ago. You have to consider, shipping costs, because if you're shipping overseas, it's definitely going to cost you more. You have to consider that a lot of these sites take a chunk off the top. So if you're selling a physical item, but you're having someone tip you through Loyal Fans or something like that, they're still going to take 20 or 40% or whatever it is. That's just a general, I don't know what each site charges. But just consider what you're going to have to pay to be able to send this item to somebody. Something that's going to fit in an envelope, okay, that's fine. That's very easy. But something that's going to take up a package, like if I'm going to send a used sex toy to somebody, that's going to take a box and like padding and stuff like that. So I'm going to charge more for that. If I send a pair of old flip-flops, I'm going to send them in a box. It's going to be a smaller box than it might, than a sex toy might have been, depending on the toy. But I'm also going to wrap them in a plastic bag. I'm going to probably wear them for an extra day. I might do various things to them. But I also know that maybe this 10-year-old, actually, I have a pair of flip-flops that are 20 years old that I haven't listed yet that I really need to. They're dirty. They're dingy. They've been worn everywhere. And I'm going to sell them for $100 because I'm going to include the shipping price. I'm going to include the fact that they are old and very well worn and that some freak who loves feet is going to purchase them for $10. So don't just consider what it costs you, consider making a profit, and consider how big of a fetish it is for some people. Feet are a big fetish for some people. So sell things accordingly. Now let's talk about custom items. I don't do a lot of custom photo sets just because I I really don't do them very often. I do more videos than anything else, but I charge more for all of that. So custom photo sets, it just kind of depends on the photo, what they're looking for. If they just want something in my lingerie, I'm only going to charge maybe $1 a photo for customs. Something crazier, I might charge $2 or $3 or like $1.50 or something. So it just kind of, you kind of have to figure out what you want to price things at. But again, that's one of those things where you should do research on what other people sell their regular photo sets at, and then kind of go from there. If it's a custom item, I'm going to charge crazy amounts because someone asking for a custom knows it's going to be more expensive and they're going to pay it more, most likely. They might haggle a little bit and I might be okay with that, but it's just going to depend. I also do like short stories, custom short stories, and I think I charge 50 for a regular one and then like 100 for an exclusive, meaning I'm not going to post it anywhere. Nobody's bought an exclusive one, which I'm happy with because I don't want to lose out on money by not being able to post it other places. But just keep in mind that offering custom items is definitely going to be a moneymaker for you, especially after you've already made content and already sold some other things. Now I'm going to talk about my custom video pricing in just a second, but I want to talk about my regular video pricing. I typically charge about $1 a minute and then add $2 to $3 on depending on what the fetish is. So for a tickling video that I did, which was actually a custom, I charged $1 a minute and then I actually added $5 because I hate being tickled and I hated making that video, but I did it. And so, I don't know, it was maybe 15 minutes, so I charged, instead of $15, I charged $20. That seems to be kind of in line with what a lot of people charge. Some people might charge only like $13 for a 15-minute video and things like that. That's one of those things though where you can make that decision and still not really price yourself out unless you're charging like $5 a minute for regular pre-made clips. My custom clips, I actually changed it just before writing the script for this video. I say script loosely. Clearly I'm just kind of vibing. I changed it to $7 a minute. And let me kind of explain where it goes from there. So on ManyVids, I have a custom order form. They give you an entire page to set up custom orders. So I can say anything that's 5 minutes is going to be $35, $7 a minute. Anything that's 10 minutes is going to be $65 a minute. So instead of $7 a minute, it's slightly less. It's $6.50. So I kind of do that where it gets slightly less with each 5 minutes it goes, and they only do increments of 5 minutes anyway. But then when you get to 30 minutes, it starts going back up to the point that I think at 60, it's like $17 a minute. Because if I'm going to do an hour-long video, I'm going to be compensated for my time. On top of that, you guys might be thinking, you know, for an hour, $17 isn't that much. But on top of that, it's also going to be posted to my clip sites as an actual clip that people can purchase. If someone wants it faster, I charge anywhere from $35 for 2 weeks instead of 3 to 4 to something like $500 for a 24-hour turnaround. If someone wants it to be completely exclusive, meaning I'm only going to send it to them and I'm not going to post it anywhere, that's $1,000 on top of whatever else they're paying for the video. And on top of all of that, ManyVids gives you a drop-down list that you can select different acts from and make them pay more for that. So anything that's going to involve femdom is, I don't know, like $20 extra or $30 extra, whatever it is. Something with boy girl is going to be like an extra $50. I don't remember my actual pricing, but the point is I charge more depending on the acts or whether or not I have somebody in the video with me. The reason I charge so much more for having someone else in the video with me is because I would have to, you know, make sure my testing is up to date. And so that's the thing that I'm thinking about when I'm putting in these numbers. If I'm doing an anal scene, I am going to charge like $150 extra because it, you know, I got to work on prep. Sometimes it takes me a couple of days to make sure I'm prepared, like food wise. And there's just so much that goes into one of those scenes that I can't just do it at the drop of a hat. So when you're considering your additional pricing or your custom pricing or anything like that, consider how much time it takes you to prepare. If you need any new costumes, if you need to, you know, get your nails done or whatever, obviously I need to get mine redone. If you have to have a partner on hand, if you have to, whatever it is you have to do, consider all of that and then set your price. I even have a note on my custom order form on ManyVids that any custom has to be approved by me before they purchase it, because I want to make sure that if they are requiring anal with a toy, that they select that so that I'm not being gypped and I am making the money that I deserve to make on each each video, because some people will try to not pay what they're supposed to. I also make a comment that anything that's not listed on that page, because ManyVids only has so many options, they can talk to me about, but it's gonna cost extra. So like I had this one guy who wanted me to do something special that is not listed on a ManyVids custom order form in any way. Like it's just not even an option for them. So I said, okay, well that's, you got to tip an extra $10 for this and an extra $10 for this and an extra $15 for this. So that's a total of tipping $25 on top of the actual order. And he did it and it was no problem. So every time you're talking to these customers about what they want, ask as many questions as possible. Make sure you fully understand. I always say, okay, to be clear, you want me to do this, this, and this. You want me to say this. You want me to have these toys. Like I go into as much detail as possible. And some people won't give you that much. So you do have to keep asking questions. Other people will give you a bunch of detail in the very first message. Also consider that on ManyVids, people can't message you without you messaging them first. Like fans can't. So they may comment on your custom order form, or they may comment on another video saying, hey, please DM me, I want to order a custom or something like that. Just keep that in mind that you will have to be the one to message them first. Once you have, a message ongoing, then they can reach back out to you whenever. But I always ask as many questions as possible, because if I don't, I inevitably will get something wrong. And I don't want that to happen. I pride myself on my quality, and that includes getting custom orders right. One thing I want to add about your ManyVids custom order form, if you set that up, is to clarify what your limits are. I clarified that I don't use slurs. I don't, do like toilet stuff, things like that. So I make sure that customers, if they read that, understand what I do and don't do. But then of course, if they message me and they say, hey, can you do this? I just, I'm sorry, but I don't, that's, not on the list of things that I will do. Is there something else that I can do for you? Because you don't want to run them off and be a bitch about it. You still want to potentially get them a custom order. It just may not be what they were initially thinking, because some people will compromise with you. The custom audio I am working on slowly, because it takes me some time, is a farting audio, and it is authentic. It is actually going to be me doing it. I'm not like recording sounds from other things, because I know that some people will do that, but I want to be legitimate here. And first of all, when the guy first messaged me, he asked, do you have any, of XYZ type content? And I said, no, I don't. And then I came back to him and I said, but I could do a custom audio if that's something that you would be interested in. And he said, oh, absolutely. He was more worried about the sound than anything else. He didn't need the video part of it. So coming up with a suggestion, coming up with a compromise could still lead you to getting paid. And so I just want to be clear about that. Now, I only charged him $3 a minute and I didn't add anything else on. For that kind of custom, like that specific fetish, I would have added another $20 onto whatever he was paying per minute. But I wasn't thinking about it when I first talked to him. And then he was being very nice. He paid me. He didn't, and ah about it. And I have a feeling that this is going to be a customer that will keep coming back. So I'm perfectly happy to keep to that initial price that I quoted him. I don't ever want to come back to a customer and be like, actually, I thought about it. It's going to cost more, unless it's a specific costume or a toy or something that's needed. And I have to come back to them and say, listen, I need more to be able to do this video for you. I'm never going to lose money on a video. I'm never going to let myself charge less than I deserve or less than it would cost to make the video. If it's going to cost me $150 to get a new toy for that video, I'm going to charge that customer $150 on top of whatever it is I'm already charging them. But if I charge them $150 on top of whatever it is, and then I come back and say, listen, I'm so sorry, it was $175 with shipping, I need an extra $25, I don't feel guilty about doing that. And I won't order it until they send it. So, I can't make the video until they send and until I order. But again, that's a whole, make sure you're pricing things with items and things like that in mind. But try not to turn things down if you can help it, because there's usually a compromise that can be made. The last thing I want to talk about is Findom related pricing. I've talked about tributes in a previous video, but just to kind of include it all in the pricing video, your initial tribute is entirely up to you. I've seen anywhere from $3 to $100 and more, but I recommend when you're new to charge anywhere from $5 to maybe $20 and not charge any more than that, because odds are a sub might see you on Twitter, they might see you on Loyal Fans, they might see you elsewhere, and they might see that you're just not that popular yet, or you haven't been around for a while, and so they might be hesitant to send you $50 or more. So charging them only $5 to prove that they're legit benefits you both, because then they can start sending more, but they've also proven that they're not a scam, and you've made some money. I have played around with tribute pricing. I personally, because I've been around for a minute, I have found that it doesn't matter for me for the most part, but I do get a few more tributes when I charge it. I'm charging $22 for an initial tribute right now, and I'm finding it a little bit easier to attract people. But again, it's entirely up to you. The last thing I want to leave you with, I know I've talked about not pricing yourself out of the market, but also don't feel bad about increasing your price. If you start adding more content, if your quality gets better and you were only charging 50 cents a minute for your pre-made videos, it's okay to charge more. It's okay to still charge 50 cents a minute for those older videos that are maybe not great quality, and charge more for the newer stuff that is better. You get to control your pricing here. That's one of the great things about being an amateur. Just make sure that you're pricing accordingly and that you're pricing it so that you can make money. And those two kind of go hand in hand. Don't charge $60 for a shit video. Don't charge $5 for an immaculate 40-minute video. Because yeah, people are going to buy it, but it's not going to really be like worth it, if that makes sense for you. I don't know. That's just my opinion. That's the kind of time where you can start doing sales. A Flash Friday sale where everything's on sale for 50% off. An Ass Wednesday sale where any, butt videos are 25% off. Whatever it is you want to do, you can do random sales. You can do promos. You can do a variety of things where you put things on sale and still get sales. All of my subscription pages right now and all of my videos and a few digital items are on sale for 50% off because I'm celebrating for 6 weeks my 6-year anniversary in the industry. I didn't have to do that. I could have just made it 6 days, but I decided to do 6 weeks just to see if it works. And so I'm constantly posting about it on social media, and I am getting more sales than I would normally, which is great. But the content is going to go back up on May 12th because that's when the sale ends, and people are still going to be buying it because it's been popular for the last month and a half. So just kind of think about that too. Anyway, that's all I've got to say about pricing. I know that was a lot of information. Again, feel free to reach out to me with questions. Comment on my videos if you have them, or comment on TikTok. Reach out to me, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. I am everywhere. But I also want to add as a reminder that there is a Discord server that is meant for models, doms, and subs. So if you're a fin sub or a pay and you want to get into that, feel free to join that Discord server. The link is going to be in the description, but it's also in all of my link trees. And I look forward to building that community with you guys. I'll see you in the next video.